Here are 17 YouTube automation niches that are untapped gold mines and they're still exceptionally early. Now guys, I've gone ahead and cherry picked 17 YouTube automation niches that I personally think are performing extremely well with little to no barrier to entry, aka you can automate all the processes with AI, and the last one is going to absolutely shock you. Now guys, really quickly before we get into this, if you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, that's discord.gg/1%. It's a really cool networking community where we all kind of share results and share wins. And guys, last but not least, this is not financial advice. It's simply my opinion on the current state of YouTube automation, but without further ado, enjoy this absolute value bomb. Alrighty guys, so coming up first, we have a pretty interesting channel. This channel is called TD World Canvas. Now, they are posting somewhat unique content. You don't really see this too often, but I'm going to go into depth on why this is so untapped and kind of has a lot of potential. Now, this channel is called TD World Canvas. They post videos like your go-to guide for exploring the best places to live and discovering what's next. Somewhat a real estate based channel. Now, if you guys don't know, real estate has an exceptionally high RPM on YouTube as a whole, because of course, the people that are looking at real estate usually have quite a lot of money because they can afford to do it. So advertisers spend quite a lot of money on acquiring that said customer. Now, real estate is obviously a super fixated and kind of high quality demographic. It's super long term. And of course, this channel only started 3 months ago. Now, if I had to guesstimate the RPM on this channel, I'd probably say it's about $7 per 1,000 views. And of course, they pulled in a little over 1.5 mil views. So this one channel is probably making about $10,000 every couple months. And once again, they just started. When it comes to YouTube automation, scalability and kind of post scale is a massive factor. And of course, these videos are literally just stock footage. You can go onto Pexels and literally look up. So for example, if we're showing clips of New York City, you literally just type in New York City, head over to video section, and you'll be able to do all the background content for all your videos for completely free. Now guys, keep in mind, these kind of stock footages that you're using are completely copyright free. People upload them to Pexels for anybody to use. So essentially you use AI for the voice, use ChatGPT Deep Research to write the script, and of course, do some really simple editing, packaged all together, and you're sitting on a gold mine. Coming up next, we have a very unique niche. This one is called Old Boat Sailor. Now, they post videos that are somewhat not really automatable through the use of YouTube automation, but I figured I'd include it just in case, you guys have any experience in this field. Now, this guy is brand new. He only started about 4 months ago and is not posting that often. Now, the way these guys are posting is it's somewhat personal content. Now, you can see these videos are completely automated, but the previous ones, there are a few kind of stock footages that are required. Now, one thing I would say in a niche like this is post consistently. I mean, the boating RPM is probably quite high. And once again, it is a very, very untapped niche with a ton of kind of users, right? Boats are a massive demographic. If you make it good thumbnails, you can see their packaging has a lot to be desired. What we want to find when we're looking for niches that are untapped and that we want to get into is that the people that are already doing this specific niche are failing in certain areas. Now, this isn't having a bash or a stab at this guy in particular, but obviously we can see that these thumbnails and the packaging as a whole could easily be improved. And of course, use AI for the script, use AI for the voice, and you are sitting on a fairly good potential niche. And guys, really, really quickly, I've just opened up slots for start.innovault.co. If you guys want to work directly with me and get a completely free mentorship, check out this video, fill out your information, and you will essentially be given this video for completely free. And if you do like what you see and you want to work directly with myself and my team, go ahead and book a call through this sort of form here, and I will talk directly with you and see if we can make something happen. Now guys, getting back to the video, we have a very, very good niche. Now, this is sort of black pill. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like looks maxing and all this bullshit stuff that's kind of blowing up at the moment. But of course, there is a somewhat younger demographic and people that are interested in this kind of content. So they don't post very consistently, but when they do post, you can see it absolutely bangs. Now, this is somewhat motivation, right? Nucleus motivation. They're fairly new. They only started about 10 months ago. And the type of videos they make is like, you can transform yourself in 90 days, the ultimate student winter arc challenge video, the ultimate self-improvement challenge video. Now, you could easily improve on this content, right? The way that they're packaging, it just looks unprofessional. It obviously isn't optimized for CTR. And one of the good ways we could replicate a niche like this would be focusing on outliers. Now, the good thing about this is there's a ton of channels kind of doing this, but not in a very optimized way. So all we would need to do is obviously, if you wanted to replicate this channel, head over to their channel, look at their outlier videos. This one's obviously a 33 times outlier, 44 times outlier, see what worked and kind of replicate that. So we can see here, their most popular outlier was a course course, one of these 100-day based videos. Now, that is a massive trend that's exploding on YouTube for the last like couple years. So implementing that in a niche like this is a pretty good indication and sign that by doing that, it's got a lot of virality. Coming up next, we have HT Anime. Now, I personally am a massive fan of a channel like this. I think it's got a ton of longevity. It's very similar to the Amagi. If you guys are familiar with this, I've shown it off many times. They are printing money, but they have been around for a very long time. They post videos like, what if Naruto just didn't care? All these other sort of theories. But of course, getting into a niche like that nowadays is quite hard if you didn't join it in the beginning. But this channel here is very new, right? They only started about a month ago and they're already exploding. If we go ahead and filter by popular, you guys can see they're posting these kind of tier list ranking videos that once again are entirely made with AI. The whole script is AI, the voice is AI, every single part of this is AI, and then of course the background footage is just Naruto. And these guys are doing quite well so far. I mean, they've only started about a month ago. In that time, they've got 330k views. Now, do keep in mind, in the anime niche, the RPM isn't that high. So even off of those views, they've probably only done about $1,300 in revenue, which once again, isn't bad by any means. And I think that if you are a beginner and you are looking to get started into YouTube automation in a kind of somewhat sub niche and with little to no competition, I'd say this is a prime example of a super profitable and good niche to get into. Next up, we have military grade. Now, they talk all things guns, weapons, military. Now, think of that Naruto niche I just spoke about, the anime one, but literally the exact same content style, everything the same, but in the World War II kind of military-based genre. Now, these guys are doing very well. I'd say better than the Naruto niche. They started about 4 months ago. RPM on this content would be quite high. And of course, they're making videos like 10 overhyped weapons that turned out to be useless. The biggest weapon myths debunked in 21 minutes, 375k views, probably about a $5 RPM. So on this channel in total, after starting a couple months ago, they're probably sitting at about $5,000 to $6,000 earned. Not bad at all. And I think with a niche like this, the fact that it can be scaled and all the processes expedited with AI is a massive factor. And do keep in mind, they weren't posting consistently until about a month ago. You can see here, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 months ago, and then only about 1 month ago did they really start taking this seriously and absolutely pumping out content. Now, this is very interesting. You guys know I talk a lot about ultra long form niches in the space niche. Now, that was, for example, Space Dust. These guys used to be massive. Not that they're not massive anymore, but this has become quite saturated and hard to break into. You guys can see Space Dust, they absolutely print. They have a $30 RPM, but this channel that I've recently found, Late Science, they post videos similar to Space Dust, but more so information based. So like this video here, it's still 2 hours long. So the RPM is still going to be upwards of $25. But they post videos like, you won't believe how small we are in the Milky Way. Of course, the video is once again entirely AI. The script is AI, which you can do with deep research. The voice is simply 11 Labs. And for the background footage, once again, if we go ahead and watch one of their videos.
Right now, you are hurtling through an ocean of darkness. Contains
you can see it's an AI voice, AI script, and for the background footage, this is insanely simple. Head over to Pexels, look up space, and literally scroll, and you have thousands of completely free to use space clips. And you want to know the beauty of this? Once you've found your niche, whether it's in space, ultra long form, you can make a folder on your PC with like 6 or 7 hours of space videos from Pexels, save it onto your PC, and simply keep reusing those same files over and over again in a different order for every single video. Guys, this is an insanely lucrative and one of those niches where I personally, and once again, this is entirely my opinion, not financial advice, but this niche here, they're obviously doing 1.5 mil long form views a month, which in a niche like this has an RPM of about $25. This one channel is printing 37k every single month. Coming up next, we have a very unique niche. This one is called shadow markets. Now, they're very new. They do have somewhat high quality. So this is once again one of those niches where I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to beginners. But if you do have a little bit more experience in YouTube automation as a whole and you do have the time to put in, this can be a prime example. Now, they post somewhat high quality videos that are somewhat edited. Of course, still an AI script and an AI voice, but they make videos like how hackers empty your bank account.
March 14th, 2020.
So once again, you can hear the script as AI, you can hear the voice as AI. Really, it's just editing that goes into this. But of course, in a niche like this, you have a ton of longevity. What I mean by that is that these niches aren't going anywhere, right? If we look at channels like Fern, you can kind of get out of that YouTube automation niche and kind of faceless space and build up a long-term brand that you can then leverage in the future that will last for years to come. Now we have Untold Cases YT. This is one of those niches that I personally really find interesting. Now, they're posting ultra long form. You can see it's over an hour, so I do classify that as ultra long form. But they're very new. They're essentially posting like long form missing persons reports. Once again, very new channel. They started about a month ago. And of course, RPM on this is probably about $15 just because it's not over 2 hours. It's only about an hour. But of course, with the $15 RPM and they're doing 446K views a month, this one channel has made $7,000 already, and they're only starting, right? They are doing insane. They're posting videos like Michigan 2009 cold case solved. Once again, AI script for the research, AI voice for kind of voiceovering the script. And the background footage is quite interesting, actually. I'm going to show you what I mean.
Week of November 2000.
They literally just alternate through literally the same clips with some graininess. This is an insanely lucrative niche, and I honestly think you could take this a step further and make the content 2 to 3 hours to really get those $30 to even $40 RPMs. Now, I've shown this niche before. The reason why I'm showing it is because I personally really like it. They're doing videos like what if, or 3 hours of SpongeBob lore to fall asleep to, but it's fan theories, 3 hours of SpongeBob mistakes to fall asleep to. Now, you might be saying, well, Blake, they're not even getting that many views. What makes this niche so lucrative? Now, in my opinion, the reason why this niche is so valuable is the fact that the videos are 3 hours long. So the RPM is probably about $25 in a niche like this, seeing as they're 3 hours long. And of course, they started very recently. They've only got about 13K subs, and they only started doing ultra long form. If we go ahead and check, only about 3 months ago. Now, in that time, now they're doing 700K long form views a month, times that by obviously $25. And this one channel is probably doing about $17,500 in revenue every single month. And of course, you can take this a step further. You don't necessarily need to do SpongeBob lore. You can do Family Guy lore, you can do The Simpsons, you can do Game of Thrones. There are so many different niches that you can kind of tap into following the same sort of video structure and genre. Now, one of the things you want to look for when experimenting with a different niche is that there is proof of concept. Now, what I mean by this is if you're doing Game of Thrones, right? If we wanted to do Game of Thrones in that cartoonology niche, we'd want to check other niches or other people in Game of Thrones that are doing the same style of content to know that it does have an audience on YouTube. Now, obviously Game of Thrones, we know it does because of this guy, Three-Eyed Theorist. He posts Game of Thrones what ifs and he is absolutely banking. But this is a prime example of combining two niches into one and really leveraging what we know. Now we have the dark one. This is insane. They're posting ultra long form scary stories like 3 hours of spine tingling true Navajo tribal police stories to fall asleep to. And this is one of those interesting channels. Now, you guys might have seen recently with the new YouTube change, they've kind of made it so you can upload under multiple channels. Like you can add a collaborator to your video. And these guys have like 4 channels, and on all the videos they're posting, they're uploading it on all 4 channels. Now, this is a very new feature. I've never experimented with it to see if this actually makes a difference, but that could be a good kind of test for you guys to run and see if that does make a difference in terms of performance and blowing up multiple channels. Now, these guys started fairly recently, only about 10 months ago. So at the start of this year, and obviously if we go ahead and check their view stats, they are currently doing quite good numbers. If we go ahead and check ultra long form and their long form views as a whole, just this month they've done about 100,000 views. Now you might be saying, well, Blake, 100K views is not that much. No, it's not, but that's one of the beauty with ultra long form channels, right? 100K views, they probably made, I'd say their RPM is probably about $30 based on this niche. So this one channel is still making 3K a month off of that little views. If that doesn't show you how absolutely insane ultra long form is, then I don't know what does. Now, once again, it's entirely my opinion, but I do love ultra long form, and you guys probably know that if you've been watching me for long enough. Now, this is once again the last ultra long form channel I believe we're kind of talking about before the end of the video, and I've saved the best for last. But this channel posts videos like Reddit stories for sleeping with just Minecraft parkour footage. You've probably seen this on kind of shorts as a whole. This used to be quite big on shorts, but they're doing this in the ultra long form niche, and they're absolutely doing insane, right? They're very new. They only started about a year ago. And of course, they are an example of a niche that is just absolutely printing. I mean, they're doing 600K long form views a month. RPM's probably about $25, 15K a month off this one simple channel. Now we have Space Time Narratives. Now this isn't ultra long form whatsoever. It's doing similar content to what we spoke about with that other space channel, but this is more fixated on long form. Now, every terrifying type of black hole explained. 346K views, once again, only started about a month ago. Doing long form channels like this, you can build up, once again, similar to Fern, a very long-term audience that sticks with you for a very long time because it's somewhat catered to that specific demographic. Now, the way I would sort of do this is replicating their outliers. We know it performed well, the 7 main types of stars in the universe, every terrifying type of black hole. So kind of those ranking-based niches and ranking-based videos seem to perform exceptionally well in a niche like this. So once again, doubling down on those outliers can always be a beneficial thing to do, and there's really no downside to trying it. Now, we have Legacy. I don't know how the hell this is doing well, but I figured I'd include it because I did find it when I was scraping with my tool. Now, they post videos like 10 real ways cowboys carried their guns, Wild West gun history. This video exploded. RPM is probably only about $4, but that video still made them over $1,000. And of course, they only started about a month ago. So, I mean, this niche is probably worth looking into. I wouldn't say it's my favorite niche I've ever found, but I think that when you do find niches like this, and of course for me, I like to share them with you guys because I find these, I obviously am not going to try them at the moment. I don't have the kind of bandwidth or capacity, but a niche like this is definitely something worth looking into and seeing how far you can take it, whether you can kind of optimize it with ultra long form and just kind of testing the waters. Now guys, we are getting down to the final 3 niches. Now this is not yay. This is super long term. They're posting videos like 99 details you missed in Brooklyn Nine-Nine's pilot. Now, once again, this is one of the beautiest things of deep research that's just dropped with ChatGPT. It can kind of recap every single episode and know exactly what's happened in the episodes in chronological order, especially with timestamps. So you could essentially say what you want. So 99 details you missed in a specific episode number of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then of course get ChatGPT to write you the entire script, voiceover, and simply pay an editor to match up the clips and transform the content. This channel is brand new, only 3 months ago, and they are absolutely printing. My only concern would be running into kind of copyright-based issues with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I think if you transform the content enough and you make your own twist on it and you aren't relying solely on just their audio, then you definitely can monetize this and make it work. Now guys, we are on to the final 2 niches. This one is called Snake Speak. They're posting videos like effort, meditation. Once you see this, there is no going back. The mind creates problems just to feel in control. The universe makes no mistakes. Once again, entirely AI scripts, AI voice, and AI videos. The reason why I'm showing you this is I think this niche is a prime example of one of those niches you could convert into ultra long form and see a ton of success. Now, once again, that's entirely my opinion, but I do see the potential in a niche like this, especially given the fact that they only started about 2 years ago. And I know it might seem a lot, but as you can see, they only really started posting seriously like 8 months ago because they didn't post whatsoever in that first kind of 1.5 year gap. And guys, coming up to the second to last niche, I'm sorry, we have one more. This one is insane. Now, this is OAO Penguin Jazz. They post ultra long form lo-fi type videos that are 5 hours long, like penguins chase the autumn rhythm. Very unique content, and they've kind of made their own twist on the lo-fi niche as a whole. Now, the reason why I show you this, and you might be saying, well, how do I monetize the sound? Now, if you guys are familiar with Suno AI, you can make your own music in Suno, save it to a folder, similar like we were doing with Pexels, and for every video you do, obviously make the image with AI, make it really nice, have your own kind of twist. Doesn't necessarily need to be penguin jazz. It could be seal jazz, it could be elephant jazz, it could be chimpanzee jazz, and you make your AI based photo and simply generate in the same style. So whether it's jazz or whatever, generate those music folders in Suno and just build up a massive catalog of your own AI music you can continuously start to use. And of course, they are fairly new. They only started 3 months ago. In that time, they've got 2.2 million views. Now, do keep in mind the RPM on lo-fi channels and channels that are ultra long form but don't have voice in the content is a lot lower. Now, I see a lot of people saying, well, wouldn't this have $30 RPMs because the other ultra long form channels you speak about have $30 RPMs? Now, no. And the reason for that is because the majority of people that listen to ultra long form channels that have speaking, they're English. They can understand the kind of words and kind of the English language. So chances are they're going to be a much higher US demographic, hence increasing the RPM. Whereas with music-based channels that are like jazz and all these other styles, people that are watching them can be from all across the world. And while yes, they still watch the same amount of time and they still enjoy the content, they're simply not going to have as high of an RPM. So I'd say this channel probably has about a $12 RPM if I had to guess. Of this one channel, they've still done about 26K in revenue. And of course, thinking outside the box, there are ways to kind of turn this into something that has a higher RPM. And that would be targeting US-based trends like NBA or whatever, but I'm not too sure how you would make that work in a lo-fi niche like this. And last, but certainly not least, we have Masked Magic Secrets Revealed. Jesus Christ, try saying that 3 times. But they post videos that are kind of revealing magicians' tricks, and they are absolutely popping off. So like Levitating Monk's Magic Secret Revealed, David Blaine's Levitation Magic Secrets Revealed, and they're absolutely printing. They're very new. They only started about 4 months ago. And once again, very long-term channel that kind of breaks out of that YouTube automation barrier. If we go ahead and check their views, they're currently doing about 7.4 mil long form views a month. Now, if we went ahead and checked that, RPM's probably about $4. This one channel is making $30,000 a month and they're absolutely killing it. Now guys, once again, if you want completely free training from myself, go ahead and check out start.interval.co, put in your information, watch this video for completely free. If you like what you see and you decide you want to work with me and my team, go ahead and book a specific time, have a chat with me completely for free and see if we can help scale your channel. And guys, once again, I hope you learned something new. If you did, go ahead and check out my public Discord server. It's discord.gg/1%. Honestly, just a really cool networking environment. And without further ado, I hope you learned something new. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day.